So ever since year 7, I've always been a person who's been focused on making aesthetic and lovely notes, and I just found that this isn't working for me and it doesn't really work for revision. So today I'm going to be telling you how I changed my note-taking method and how it works best for me and how I'm getting really good grades with these types of notes. So I'm going to be talking to you about my old notes and what went wrong with them. So now I'm going to be analysing a set of notes that I made at the start of year 9 when I started my GCSE science courses, and we're going to see just how terrible they are. If you make notes like this, I'm not saying they're bad, but just the way that I revise, these don't really work for me. So if you don't really revise like that, you can judge whether you think this note-taking method will work for you or not. If you prefer mind maps, do that. If you prefer doing posters, do that. This is just how I like to do things. So here is a set of my notes, and as you can see, I think they look pretty aesthetic, pretty nice, pretty neat and organised. But that brings me to the first point. Don't waste time on making it look amazingly aesthetic and perfect. I know I'm a bit of a hypocrite for saying this because I am actually a perfectionist, and everything that I do, like all my revision notes that I do, they have to be perfect, which is a bit of a problem when you're doing it handwritten because it always goes wrong. That was a bit of a big thing for me because I used to spend ages on my notes, like each page would take me half an hour, and that is not efficient at all. That's not helping you. The next downfall of these notes is the fact that they are literally a copy of the textbook. I would sit up and read the textbook and then think, oh yeah, I'll just write all of this out and then I'll memorize it. That is not going to work. Don't know why I thought that was a little bit dumb, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows. Condense your notes, make condensed notes. Bullet points are your best friends. Don't write paragraphs in your notes, it's just painful. The next thing kind of leads on from not copying out the textbook, and that is to understand the topic first. Don't write notes to understand the topic. You understand the topic and then you write notes. The next problem with these notes is that it's not easy to revise off or read. I've kind of touched on this a little bit before, but you need notes that are going to be easy to revise off. So if someone else is testing you off your notes, which I don't do that often, but sometimes I will if I haven't made flashcards yet, then your parent or whoever's testing you needs to be able to make sure that they know what they're testing you on. Okay, so that's, I think, everything that's wrong with these notes. I have quite a lot of things that are wrong with it, so that's why I didn't think I should carry this on all the way through year 11. So now I'm going on to the things that were good about these notes, because they're not completely rubbish. Number one, they look good. I'm not saying that they have to look amazingly beautiful with calligraphy everywhere and, you know, like stickers on it. You don't need to go that far, but you do need to try and make them presentable, because you're not going to want to revise off scrappy notes that are in the corner. Because I tried scrappy notes just, you know, to try it out. It didn't work. I didn't want to revise off of them. They weren't very good. I couldn't see what was going on. So you need to make at least presentable notes where you can see the flow of ideas, you can see what topic it is. Yeah, you need to kind of have a semi-organised note-taking system. But the next good thing about these notes is that they use a lot of colour. Colour is so important. Everyone knows that colour helps your brain to memorise stuff. Yeah, that's not the only reason, but it also has a lot of benefits. I just think if you use colour, your note's going to look way better, that you're going to help you memorise it more, and it just like pings out words that are really important. And there's a great example of this in my notes for energy. So as you can see here, the pink of the Muji pen really pops out against the black biro, and it just helps me to look at any keywords or key equations that I need to know. Now, I'm not saying that you need to highlight or write everything in colour, because that's not going to be good. It's only the stuff that you really want to ping out of the page. I keep saying ping like every sentence, and I need to stop saying ping. It really helps it to stand out on the page. The other thing that's good about these notes is my use of diagrams. I really like having diagrams in my notes. Diagrams just help your brain to picture the image. It's kind of like a bit like dual coding, but your brain can picture the image and then take the facts from the image. It's just a lot better than memorizing the words, because a brain can memorize a picture better than words. Next thing that I think is good about these notes is that you can clearly see what topic it is. Obviously you can still do this by using dividers in your folder, but I still think it's nice that it has a big bold title so you can see what the topic is, and yeah, I think it's quite good. So now we're going to move on to the next section, which is my new notes and what I like about them. So basically, my notes are made on the computer, they're digital notes, and I write them up on Google Docs. So what I do is I have the specification and then I just write bullet points off it, and then I use other knowledge like Free Science Lessons, who is the most amazing YouTuber ever. If you haven't been using free science lessons, where have you been? I like using a range of sources, so I use BBC Bite Size, which is amazing, Free Science Lessons, who I've already raved about, but again, he's amazing, so you should check him out. The textbook, which is, you know, everyone kind of has a science textbook, and also your class notes, because that's what you've learnt in class, and it's probably going to be some valuable information that the teacher has that your textbook can't tell you. I definitely recommend using a range of sources rather than a generic textbook, because that's also going to help you to make sure that you're not just copying out the textbook, because you're using a range of sources, so you have to compile all that knowledge into one sentence, so you kind of have to use your brain a bit more and make it more active for yourself. What I like about doing it digitally is that I can make it perfect, and it doesn't take that much time. Typing is way faster than doing handwritten. I personally find it a lot more efficient to type up my notes and then print it if I want to, and then you also have a digital copy if you kind of lose your notes or something. It literally takes me like 10 seconds to make a title on the computer. So I just think for perfectionists like me, it's perfect because you can get everything right and organised without stressing. It's got everything that you need to know, and you're never going to be caught out because you have literally everything that the exam board wants you to know on it. I feel a lot more secure knowing that I've covered absolutely everything that could ever come up in the exam. And sometimes, I love my teachers, I'm not hating against my teachers, sometimes your teacher may miss out a spec point, and that's not very good. So, you know, you can just check yourself and check that you've gone through everything. So now I'm going to move on to how I make my notes, and just a little run through of how I would do it. So I of course have to start my notes off with a big bold title. As you can see, it's very clearly the physics particle model of matter topic, and then I like to do a little sub heading, so this is density. Then I snip out a bit of the specification, so obviously this is the density part of the specification. You can get the specification anywhere online, and then I just write short, snappy little bullet points underneath it, just so I have exactly what I need to know. And as you can see, I like using a lot of colour when it comes to my equations to draw my attention to it, because it's very important to learn your equations. And I've made a little diagram of the triangle that I can use to remember the equation. And sometimes I will just simply copy and paste the diagram off the internet. So here I've copy and pasted the changes of state diagram. And again, I really like using colour to draw attention to my equations. So the specific heat capacity equation, for example. Again, diagrams are very, very important. I like how you can annotate them in a very neat way, so then you have enough space to put whatever you want. So here I've done one for the melting graph of a solid, and I just really like the way my notes turn out. I thought I'd show you what they look like so you get a rough idea of what they are like. And I do this for almost every topic that I have in science and a few other subjects. So I hope you like this video. I really enjoyed making it because I have a lot of opinions on notes and how they should be made. I really hope you enjoyed today's video and that you enjoyed the editing and the format, because I was trying out a new little style. Yeah, I've been experimenting with my editing a bit more lately, so let me know if you liked it. So I really hope you've had a great day, and see you next time. Bye!